sides are not ready now. Give them another month and a half. They're ready.
I'll just go jump around in your patch.
Watch it.
Okay, are we ready for a massive transmittal item?
Yepers.
All right, let me see if it works here.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The O2 Radio Network.
All right, get my audio controls kind of set up here where they should be. And I know everybody else is getting their tube radios set up where they should be. And when we put that mix together, it is the what we call the old tube radio network here on the West Coast, Central California, 8 p.m., 27085, Channel 11. What they used to say, the place to be. I should say one of the places to be on a Saturday evening. So welcome. We will be checking in your radios after the roll call. We'll be looking forward to your comments at oldtuberadio.net and on the, what do we call it? The YouTube video site and anyone, anywhere else in the Universal Media Netweb here in the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. My name is Dennis. I'm one of the net controllers who just happens to be sitting in the air chair tonight, helping you get checked in. So without any further ado, let me get the video going and we will get started with the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio is glowing in the dark.
Woohoo!
And I think we're ready. Let's give a shot for way up there somewhere, SWL 00.
00, checking in, Dennis.
Sounding good. All right, the Jingle Singers, X4000, and the Billy May Orchestra did not lie. We are ready to go. 2/27/2021. If you're playing the home game, that's where you should be, and you'll get a check-in for 00. Thanks, Jim, and we will catch you on the other side. Over to, let's see, Cosmic Check-in. Do I have the right mouse? Yeah, okay. Cosmic Check-in for SWL number 1. SWL number 2, OBP is over on the video side. Say hello to OBP. Watch yourself checking in up here if you're watching the video. And Kevin, what did you say about the sunspot things going on tonight? I noticed one day it was up to 30, which I think means there's, 3? Sunspot number right now is 14, so a couple have rolled out of view. The maximum usable frequency is trying to make it up to 10 meters, 11 meters. It just might. It's kind of fallen short. And part of the issue is the SFI is good, but the A index, right? The A and K index, the A index is way above 15 the other day. So that's not optimum conditions. We'll see what happens. If we get some of the E-skip conditions, stations listening in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Colorado, Arizona. If you're listening in, also, don't forget the boys up there in BC might be beaconing down here. Thanks, Kevin, for your update. And we just might get one of those OBP check-ins tonight. 9 pounds, good modulation. Also checking in SWL3 via the proxy. And that is Mr. Rob. SWL4. SWL5. Shortwave listener number 6. SWL7.
SWL7, checking in.
Checking in and sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Hope your noise level is going to behave.
Hopefully still good right now. Only about 3.5.
Yeah, I guess it's all relative when it comes to noise. Heading up to SWL 10. Let me scroll up and see. A lot of people out there commenting already. There is Chrissy. She is on at the controls. At the controls. Chrissy, you must have put everything on automatic and jumped into the radio room. And says it's supposed to be a full moon tonight. I wasn't sure. I walked out last night and I saw my shadow, and I thought it was a groundhog thing, and it was kind of a full moon thing. I didn't look up there to see if it was waxing, waning, crying, or whatever it was. So close enough to a full moon tonight for wacky stuff to happen. Good to have you along. Let's head to SWL 13. And that is Mikey. I will refresh the pages that have all the comments on them so that I may try to endeavor to see who is out there beaconing, but I will eventually get you. If you check in via Facebook or somewhere, I will see you at some point and get you checked in. Next is SWL 14. SWL 16, Anoka, Charlie, where is it? Who's on board here tonight? Right there in the front row in the director's chair. One of the director's chairs tonight, making sure, holding up the cue cards. When I forget my line, if you see me looking off to the side here on the video, I'm looking over at our crew to see what's going on. I've got you checked in. Charlie, hope things are going okay in the land of the zero. Next, we have a guy I talked to because I was late for the Ditch Bank's sideband net last night. I missed it, but Eric sort of filled me in or jumped in on 38 lower. SWL 17. SWL 18. SWL 19. Out of Derby, New York, by way of Belfast, Maine. Chet is up here. Help me set. We did good. We did good this afternoon. I finally came in on time, and I think we got everything set up. I've got, let's see, the HF radio is ready to go. I think the 2-meter radio is on standby. We've got some other things happening, and I don't hear any RFI, so we did good. So, Chet, take a break in the green room. We're looking good here. I think no need to put out any fires just yet. Let's try SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Please check in 2954. And that guy way up there, I think he's going to check himself in tonight. And I should be around next week also, and a little later on tonight.
That's good. Boy, that radio is sounding really loud tonight. I think the new radio room is sort of morphing into the place to be. Sounding good, and we've got you checked in over.
Roger. Well, it will probably change a little bit with the ping. I had to open it up on the bottom because the fixed manual switch stuck. And I didn't want to force it, so I put it on its side, pulled the bottom off, gave it an oil and a tune-up, and I noticed the ping cap is a 30 at 500, and it's like a volcano that erupted. The fact that it's working, I'm surprised, but I'll try and change it by next week.
Plenty of time to do a little peeking and tweaking in the radio room, but it's nice that you actually have the room to take care of. All right, we'll be talking to you in a bit.
Well, I have a little room, not a whole lot of room. I've got to make more room, but I kind of threw things together somewhat. Okay, we will catch on later on tonight.
All right, and this is the watchword for throwing things together here, and all the space goes over to the green room and the jingle singers. They're slowly pushing the walls in here, but I have a mind to maybe break out of here someday. All right, thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 21, fresh off of, I don't know how he does it. He puts in a long Saturday afternoon and evening. DD21, JT, fresh from Old Radio Night. What was going on with Old Radio Night tonight? The 5-star Galaxy Saturn, the MD4 meter. Leave me a note if you're listening, JT. What is the MD4 meter? I don't know what that is. I looked at that and I saw the knob. I said it's very interesting. It was sort of off to the side. The LR1 reverse preamp on Old Radio Night tonight. And let me see. I think I may have some audio. I always just try and grab a random spot from the video, which you can replay if you go to the Dirty Diaper 21. Let's see. All right, we got it at the countdown. I'm anticipating a little ditty here for the Old Tube Radio Network. Here we go.
1. Old Tube Radio Network from Fresno, CA. I like to listen to it every Saturday. They talk about old tube radios, not the politics of the day. So if you can hear me, listen to what I say. Dennis is on the air now, live from Fresno, CA.
And well adjusted. That is JT himself on Channel 12.
I have the mic key down.
With the Old Tube Radio. Thank you for the song, JT. Let me know. Where is the station? Where is the station from that keeps us musically engaged here on the Old Tube Radio Network from the Old Radio Night 21? I've got you checked in another worldwide broadcast of first-class music.
That was awesome.
Who is that masked tenor? All right, to SWL 22. And SWL 23, a guy that has, speaking of music and songs and tunes, a guy that has the ins on our other group that frequents the Old Tube Radio Network here, the Espresso Trucking Company. I don't know what they have been up to lately, but we'll see. I have a feeling that they may have some interesting items for us in 2021. I'll see if 23's could use out there. She's checking in from the Shark Park in Aptos tonight. The first great white of the season has arrived today. Surfers are fleeing the water. And they need, what is it? They need a bigger boat. The surfers need a bigger board. All right, Mitch, we've got you checked in on the 23 Skidoo. And if you get into the history archives tonight, we will be watching and listening. I may go back to the studio. Directing that roll call, we will be having the radios after the roll call here tonight. SWL 24. SWL 25.
45.
And 45. We got you, Paul. Over.
Jerry wanted me to check him in. He's playing down the Tire District, so we'll check him in. Thank you.
That's great. I'll have to talk to him. He's actually, well, I guess they're opening some things up. Jerry is speaking of music. We got a lot of musically inclined people here. Jerry is one of our musician people here, and it's probably been a long time since he's been together with the band to put on any type of music. And he's down there in the tower, making his own tower of power. So that's good. I'll congratulate him. I'm glad that the band is able to get together. And thanks, Paul, for the relay on the check-in. Over to Dwayne, SWL 27.
Number 27's checking in via the FM Crossband.
And you're sounding good doing it. I had to make sure I got dual microphoniums here. We've got you checked in. Thanks for listening on the old Tube Radio Network, KB6GFD.
Roger. KI6QF.
All right, Dwayne beaconing in on the Crossband. Maybe later after 9 o'clock. I know it's late. That's like 12 o'clock for everybody else. I may switch over to the Ditch Banks, the new and improved Ditch Banks sideband room for those who may be Fusion C4 FM wires X capable. And we might be able to grab a couple of check-ins that way. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Next, we've got heading up to Sacramento, the capital of our fair state here, for Gary, SWL28. He's checking in, saying hello, everyone, from second home in Coronado. All right, ready for an amazing, great show. I hope we sound as good in Coronado as we do in Sacramento. Not sure if I've got the antenna pointed the right way, but Gary's got a good receiver. You know how SWLs are. They know how to pick up the stations when they need them. Getting a proxy check-in for SWL29. Let's see. And SWL30. Dwayne, RFI out there in Idaho. I talked to my good friend Dennis. Yeah, he just happens to have a name like Dennis, my sixth grade buddy who moved up to Meridian, just outside of Boise. And he mentioned a word, and I can't remember what the word, but it's a combination of sleet and hail and rain and snow that came down. It has its own special name. He said they got that the other day in Meridian, and then it turned into snowflakes, and then it turned into sun. So where they have some good weather up there in Idaho. Got you checked in, Dwayne. Thanks for listening. In the radio room tonight, over to SWL 31.
SWL 51 checking in.
And 51, Dave, we've got you. 305 in Sanger. Over.
Over. Have a good evening, Dennis.
All right, sounding good on the old Tube Radio Network. I'm going to switch over to my other page and see who is actually out here in the audience tonight up on the big board. Starting in the balcony up tonight from North Carolina, New Bern. Hello, New Bern, on the old Tube Radio Network, where we endeavor to, one, make sure that those who have the tube radios here that are within the sound of Channel 11 in the Central Valley get a chance to key them up, and maybe give somebody who wasn't around when these radios were new, the flavor of what it might have sounded like. Not only that, in the demeanor of the CB radio. We do that here. Hello to Moncks Corner, South Carolina, Fresno, Kerman, Lafayette, Louisiana. The boys up in Squamish, BC, always. Now, we've cordoned off a special section up in the balcony tonight, so if they want to fire up the barbecue, I believe that the fire marshal will be okay with that this week, so have at it, guys. Hello to San Francisco, Fairfax, Virginia, coming up to you. Blackpool, going up the pool from down the smoke below. Canby, Oregon, listening in during our testing session today. Bill, I hope all is well. Woodland Park, Colorado, of course, waiting for the skip to come in. Colorado Springs. Colorado's in. I think we're going to get some e-skip tonight. You just never know. And, of course, Anoka and Belfast via Derby. The old Tube Radio Network, a directed net roll call, looking for SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers, and everybody else that manages to wander through here to get a check-in. And then Jimmy Fielder, the guy that manages, I don't know, is it 500,000? Maybe not that many, but a lot of Facebook pages that all keep us informed on radios, righteous radios, old Tube CB network radios. Mr. Railroader is out there saying hello, radio, tonight. And thanks, Jimmy, for what you do for keeping the masses informed and providing a forum for all this great information that everybody seems to have these days on radios. Over to SWL 35, and I do believe I noticed that Mr. Bill was saying hello from cool Cheyenne. And he's got the cool icon with the shades. I'm sure that's one way you can be cool in Cheyenne. The other one is just being there and hoping for that heat wave. When it gets up to, 45 degrees, we're having a heat wave. Thanks, Mr. Bill. Hope all is going well with Mr. Bill and the gang at Red Monkey. Over to SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37, good evening, Dennis.
And good evening. Boy, my board is running slow tonight. You're sounding good here on the double sideband AM mode.
Well, thank you very much. You're sounding good over here, too.
Indeed. All right, thanks for checking in. And there's Mr. Phil. 79, I see you. I will get you at the appropriate time. SWL 38. SWL 39. SWL 40.
SWL 40, checking in from, where am I at? Oh, Chinatown.
A very quiet Chinatown tonight. Must be that end of the month thing. Everybody's just too tired to create havoc.
The mice are sleeping right now.
The lion sleeps tonight. Well, you know what that means. Eventually somebody's going to wake up. All right, we got you checked in. And we'll go over and put a click for SWL 41, and I don't know how many times, but right there, right in front of my screen, Mr. Road Dog 507 out there in New York. All sorts of them. WWS 507, AC 244, Alpha Charlie, and the 2IS 507. I'm not sure what that is. Hudson Valley of New York represented tonight. Today happens to be his 50th wedding anniversary. We should have some music for that. Do we have anything gold? Do I have anything golden around here? If it is, it's probably not the best gold. Well, congratulations. And it's hard to do 50 days, let alone 50 years. So you know the secret. And the secret might be to keep up on the tube radio once in a while, but to make sure that it knows its place. 507, and congratulations, and have a great, I know you are, have a great evening tonight.
Dennis?
This is the Basic Dennis, over.
Don't you have a golden eagle?
You know, I do. It used to be behind me, and I had to clear things out. It is over on one of the things. I also have a Golden Eagle badge, which is, wait a minute. I'm looking, wait a minute. All right. I always like the SWLs have to remind me. Here we go. Here, okay, for the 50th, you've got the, there we go, the Golden Eagle badge. So I do have some gold here tonight. Where can we put that so that nothing will break and I won't break anything? How about up here? Watch it fall off. All right, can you see that? Yeah, I'll probably block it, but that's okay. So, all right, thanks, Harvey. All right. Doggone it. We got to celebrate that 50th anniversary. All right. We are looking for SWL 41 is in. Okay. Yeah, of course. SWL 42.
Yeah, proxy in 42.
All right. 42 in the gang. We'll get proxy. You know, it's starting to warm up in here. I think it was 60 something today. It's starting to feel like spring, and it's starting to look like spring. There's all sorts of things blooming, busting out all over. SWL 43, I will get a check-in for Crazy Eddie, who is on the mend. SWL 44. Hey, the vertical sounds good. I know I can hear you on sideband, so it's always a challenge in the AM mode, but you are doing fine, and I've got you checked in over. Indeed, 21. It says someone left a cadaver in the window. I noticed the wind has died down. We had a big windstorm today. Seems like it's a little less than it was. So maybe it blew something off the roof. I hope it doesn't have a red suit and a Christmas hat. All right, where is my mouse isn't working here, so I can continue on. Okay, Paul, SWL 45. It is your turn to check in. Over.
Yeah, we're out here. Getting ready for the big wind. Hope it's not too big. Back to you.
Well, it was blowing down here. I was listening to some guys on 75 meters the other day, and they're down in there was San Fernando Valley somewhere, and he says, I'm shutting down now. I'm cranking my antenna down, and I'm battening the hatches. They said that there's supposed to be these gale force winds coming in, like 100 miles an hour, I think, in the San Fernando Valley. So that was a couple nights ago. So things are changing. Check your barometer. I don't know if we're going up or we're going down, but that's an indication when we get the wind that we're getting that pressure change. Paul, you're checked in and you're sounding good.
Thanks, Dennis.
SWL 46. SWL 47.
Well, good evening from the radio lounge where, yes, we can definitely, if we go out just off of the radio patio, we can almost walk across the swimming pool without getting our feet wet due to the nice wind that we've experienced today. But again, sounds like someone else has a radio on there, APRS. Anyways, greetings again from the radio lounge, SWL 47. Hope everyone's doing well.
Doing well, and a good thing. I have my APRS beacon off. Why do I have that? I think because it interferes.
I believe it's on.
Let's see. Is it beaconing? Oh, you know what? It might be on. Let me do that. It shouldn't be on unless I'm there. So hit that button. Yeah. All right. The beacon is off. I should go to the APRS frequency. All right. There it is. And then, I know, we should be doing... Okay, then I can turn the beacon on. We want to go back over to here. All right, so that'll put the Fresno beacon on the map. 47 is checked in. You're sounding good. I'll have to find out why you're listening to that beacon a little bit later. We got you checked in.
Very good. K6VLF.
You know, yeah, thank you again. And, you know, I guess you got to be a radio head if listening to someone else's DH radio, just those tones when you press those buttons, you know, you got to be a radio head when that actually gives you pleasure, you know, listening to those tones. I guess there's no hope over there. All right, thank you.
Well, it's sort of like an old friend. I got into packet radio 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I don't know. It was a long time ago. On my first packet radio station before they had all the nodes, and I know that sound well. It was beaconing 24 hours a day on my little HT. I had a lot of fun with packet radio in the early days. So 47 is checked in. Okay, the beacon just showed up on the map. And, oh boy, you know what? My SWR has moved, so I am, whoa, that's not good. 1, 2, 1, 2. Things change as they warm up. I'm going to have to work a little bit on the, there we go. That's too much. That's too much on the too much. Trying to make the radio happy. Watching the meter here. All right, continuing on. We will be doing radios. SWL 48. SWL 49. And X4000 says the item is detected. All right, the beacon is beaconed. SWL 50. And you know what? I'm going to bring a proxy in for Brian and Sweet Country Mama. Brian, if you're listening, we got you checked in. SWL 50.
50 checking in, and would you also proxy 650?
650. I will do that as well. And 50 sounding good here in Midtown Fresno tonight. And there's Jimmy waving a hand. That's the guy I was telling you about. That runs, what is it? Was it 500,000? I don't know. All those Facebook pages keeping us informed on the Universal Media NetWeb in all things on all things radio, whether they're righteous, what frequency they're on, who's doing what. So Jimmy, I don't know how you do it all, but we appreciate what you do and keeping us good here at the Old Tube Radio Network, the Old Tube Radio CB Network. Thanks for checking in tonight. So we are at SWL 50 and 51. You heard Dr. Dave check in a little bit before. If you're listening, Dave, I did get your check in, so we got you checked in over. Over to SWL 52. You have to check. Sometimes Aaron checks in from some place unknown. SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis, 53, checking in.
5-3, Mr. Belair. We've got you checked in, Bob. Thanks for listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. And Jimmy says he's the J.P. Morgan of the CB Radio Group's list. And then who is it that says I was Mo Rocca? You know, I don't get paid like Mo Rocca. Obviously, I would have an updated suit, but that's okay. Thanks for the what I think is a compliment there. Going over to page 3. Shortwave listener 54, Larry, we got you checked in. Over to SWL 55. And thank you, Road Dog. The 215-507 is the call for the International Sidebanders Club. International meaning you might be hearing, I don't know, somebody in Europe. That is very hard for us to do here on the West Coast. We hear the international stations from Australia, New Zealand, the ZL, the VK guys, and of course South America always comes beaconing in pretty well here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's head over to SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
Hi, Phil. Oh, speaking of APRS, this was a few days ago. I saw your beacon show up on the map, and I wasn't sure if I could contact it in some way. There's ways to leave messages. I'm not really good at the APRS thing, but you have a cool little icon. It's a running, I'll call it a running man or running person on the screen. So I don't know where you were running to, but I did see your beacon the other day.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out that whole APRS deal. I can find myself on the map, but I can't track myself. So I don't know. It'll come in time.
Well, you know, to track yourself, you got to be moving. As long as you have, I think, a agile, GPS beacon going on that locates you from the satellite beaconing up, it'll figure out where you're at. Now, since I'm stationary, mine is I just type the coordinates in, so I can't move. Even if I move this radio, it's not going to track until I tell it to look for the satellites. So as long as your GPS antenna says, look at the satellite where I'm moving, you'll be able to track yourself. However, you will have to expand, especially if you're going from, say the carport to the kitchen, you know, to get a glass of milk or something, which is about all of 30 feet. You're going to have to expand that map greatly to see that 30 feet. Normally, I see the trucker guys going down 99, but of course they're driving 60 miles an hour, and it's easy to track them there. Anyway, you're looking good and sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network here tonight. Next, we have SWL 57. Did I see? Yes, 57, Brown Dog Audio checking in. Internet is down. Power is back on. But the radio never goes off. Testing. How do you do that? You have one of those big batteries, UPSs. I've got UPS stuff here, but I think if I lose the power, the radio may still stay back on. The internet may stay on for a while, but it will be interesting. I kind of don't want to test it, but I think I've got it set up that things would still be happening for 5 minutes or so. But there would be no lighting in the studio, and the jingle singers would probably go away. Got you checked in there, 57, and hopefully the power and all the good stuff will come back to life. Over to SWL 58.
Proxy 58 in. He didn't make it by today.
Okay, I know he's busy. I haven't heard him in a while. I just haven't been around at the right time. So 58 is checked in. SWL 59. SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. Evening time to the fellows out there, the SWLs. SWL 60 checking in, the 2901 base. Jakes. DX 2527.
And as always, sounding good, and an X in the square. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
SWL 61.
61 checking in, Dennis.
As always, a nice beacon into Midtown Fresno on my less than stellar antennas here tonight. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, sir.
SWL 62. SWL 63. I will check. I'll have to scroll up and down and see if Butterbean is in here tonight. I wasn't in the old radio night long enough to see if Butterbean was in on old radio tonight. If he was, someone let me know, and we'll get him checked in here as well on the old Tube Radio Network. SWL 64. SWL 65. SWL 66. Shortwave listener 67. And that is Bill up there in Canby, Oregon, who is with us tonight doing the testing. Hope all is well, Bill. You must keep an early schedule, because you get in early, and I know we stay up late here tonight, but you never know. We might get some conditions, and you'll be able to hear us over the airwaves. Thanks for listening in. Over to SWL 68. SWL 69, Kenny, I know you are watching or listening at some point from Tulsa, which has warmed up. Always watch for your confirmations back on the video side, and hope you are having a great week. Thanks for checking into the old Tube Radio Network here in Central California. Then we head over to SWL 70. SWL 71. When my mouse goes slow, let me scroll down the page and see if maybe I need to actually refresh the page to see if Stan is in from Dallas, GA tonight. And if not, he will probably be in at some point. Let's try SWL 72. SWL 73. Getting a proxy in for John. I saw him, or I heard him on the 2-meter radio earlier this week. SWL 74. We'll get a proxy check-in for Miss Jilly, who might be out there rooting on the band, the musicians tonight. SWL 75. SWL 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and thank you for running the net. And 73s to all the listeners near and far. 77 on the Tower of Power, checking in.
Sounded good. Nice, smooth AM audio. You can't beat it from the Tower of Power. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
Over to SWL 78, Richard, who, I don't know if I turned on, where is it? Where is the, there it is. We'll have to try this some night. I'll have to talk to Richard. I bet I could hear him if 75 meters was open. Well, 75 meters is open, but it was open to the right spot. See, there's some stations. I don't know where they're at. 3870. We'd have to try an HF opening. Sounds like the band is long. But might be able to get an HF check-in for Richard out there in Wildemar. Let's go to SWL 79, and that is Mr. DC. Philip, we got you checked in from an earlier post. And then over to SWL 80. Okay, I'm going to turn the page. Before I go too far, let me... there are just so many things on the screen here. Let me just see who else is around. Comment on any items of interest. Oh, Steve Areno says he's connected to KKO. We'll have to try that. We'll have to try that here. Don't go away. Don't go away, Steve. I've got KKO in the mix here. We'll see if that will work. I want to say hello to some of our other stations that are checking in that I don't get a chance to say hello to. North Charleston says we need to go to California to see the OTR show in person. Talking to DT21. Tickets are free. In fact, we pay people to come in, so there looks like there's an audience back there. Hello to Jim M. Jim Mooter saying hello, radio. Johnny Defiant is saying hello to OTR. Let me get to the OTR, the Johnny Defiant filter. Thank you, Mr. Johnny Defiant. Okay, there we go. Back to items of interest. Paul V. Paul, hello. Paul Vines listening in tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. And, hey, 16, you're checking in on the video side. I missed that. 700 Weed Killer, top of the day from the Buckeye State. Good to have you along tonight. Picking what they call an old buzzard transmission here to say hello to everybody. Popcorn 13. He's got the popcorn ready and waiting for the radio show tonight, which will be coming up shortly after the roll call. The Sierra Romeo. Hello, Sierra Radio. Keith from Rocky Mountain, Virginia. Checking in. Yeah, well, we're going to have some of the C4 FM stuff up here on the radio coming up in just a bit, so we'll try that a little bit later. Paul Miller sounding good in Michigan, watching us. Thanks for checking in that way. North Charleston, still in there. Tiffany. Hello, Tiffany. So if I get a tube radio, oh, this is Gary. Okay, so if I get a tube radio, I can try to reach you for a wave on the air. I'm in North Carolina. So what do I need to do to reach it? Well, you probably have to have some great conditions, and the sun needs to be up, but you're doing pretty good just like that. So we'll see what happens. So we are on channel 11. So set your dial for channel 11, and you'll hear something. Probably not the Old Tube Radio Network or North Charleston. I will look for those pics of Mo Rocca. I'm sure he has better taste in clothing. Super Loop. You know what they used to call, that's what they used to call Art Bell's antenna. They used to call it the Super Loop. He had that, was it 1,500 feet of wire, and then he built another 1,500 feet underneath that on the Pahrump compound. We used to call it the Super Loop. Let's see. Greg, S9 Radio checking in from the forest. Pretty weak connection. I'll hang on as long as possible. All right, Greg. And I think you said you were working on a information on the Regency Imperial. I will be very, very interested in that because I have an Imperial with my first radio. It needs to get back on the air. It needs to be the one here on the desk. So we'll talk about that. Mr. Greg is online with us. And I've got a 23 Skidoo fun fact. We'll save that for later, so I won't take a super transmission here. All right, I think we're doing good.
84.
And 84. Hello, Jerry. Over.
Hello, Mr. Dennis. And I don't have anything warmed up yet, but we are recuperating. and we are on the mend. We had heart surgery number 3 as of August, and the doctors have given me a clean bill of health, and it's just taken a little bit to get recuperated. The last one was January 29th, and so we are on the mend, and we are making a comeback there. So we got a clean bill of health, and it's just going to take a little time to recuperate there. Roger, roger.
All right, copy on that. You sound like you've got some strength going on. The procedures that they have here in 2021 are so much better than 30 years ago or 15 years ago, where you would be laid up. You wouldn't even be out of the hospital for weeks and weeks. So the fact that you are at the home QTH and able to run around, or maybe not run, but be active there is a good sign. Thanks for jumping into the old tube radio network. It's unfortunately, it sounds like you are a pro at the recuperation thing and doing a good job, so you know exactly what to do. So I will not give you any pointers. The fact that you're checking in tonight is a good thing. So we've got you checked in, and we will get the rest of the group gang checked in as well. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, we'll be eavesdropping for a few more minutes, sir. I got some medicine to take there at the top of the hour. So anyway, appreciate it, Dennis. 84.
Good hearing you, Jerry.
Thank you there, Ed.
Here on the 11 meter AM, and Jerry also runs a net on 40 meters as well. So he's one of those omniscient, ubiquitous, what do they call it, ever-present radio guys. Got you checked in. All right, let me continue, because I do want to get to the radios, but I do like to check in with our shortwave listeners, see what is going on here and there.
27.0850 TR channel 11.
All right, the Bob and Steve show. I've got the KKO room up on the crossband here. Let me see if it's connected. KB6GFD, but I don't know if it's going to be up into the room or not, and we'll see. Otherwise, the Ditch Banks room is also up. Coming up tonight on the Bob and Steve show, what is happening? Jingle Singers will be on stage tonight in the Green Room Lounge. We've got a very nice stage that they've set up for us on the Green Room Lounge tonight. They're putting on a great show. They always do. They're having a fish fry, fire marshal approved. Yeah, the fire marshal was here last week thanks to the Squamish boys, and we've taken care of everything. We have extra sprinklers up in the balcony now. Everyone welcome for the walleye, from the walleye capital of the world, Lake of the Woods, Minnesota walleye. I'll have to try that out. Creamy veggie, tater tots, all you can eat. I like all you can eat. And drinks on Bob and Steve. Well, thanks, guys. Give the Costco card a rest. And I noticed they were giving rides in the limo tonight around the little park down the street. So if you want to try that out as well. Thanks for checking in, 81 and the gang. Over to SWL 82.
82 checking in for the Ditch Banks Viola.
All right, sounding good, Ron. And I apologize for talking so much here. I just want to let everybody know that the old Tube Radio Network is the Tube Radios, and we will be hearing more Tube Radios and less of me. But I wanted to mention that Ron is also working on the Ditch Banks sideband net that happens on Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific time here in the Central Valley of California, 36 lower, 27,365, and everybody's welcome to join in that, skip land or not. So thanks for doing that.
And thanks for doing it tonight, Smith.
All right, sounding good, and thanks for checking in. And then, let's see, waiting patiently, 83 out there in Colorado, looking good on the old radio night tonight, Also beaconing quite well here on the old Tube Radio Network. Checking in 73s to all the viewers and listeners from Colorado Springs. Thanks, 83. Looking good as well. As you just heard moments ago, SWL 84 checking in and doing a good job of it. SWL 85. See if we get some more Reedley stations in there. I did hear Bob on the two-way, but I will get him checked in coming up here a little bit later. Also getting 86, 87, and 88 checked in. That's the Mountain Maid, Snowy Owl, and Tandy Girl, not respectively, out of order, but all checked in. SWL 89. SWL 90, we'll get 90 checked in with a proxy check-in. And then over to SWL 91, Felix, who is in there. In fact, Felix was the first one on the video channel tonight. He must have one of those solid state televisions that warms up really quickly. There is the check. I can't check Felix in until he gives me the check to use, and there it is. Thanks, Felix. Over to SWL 92. SWL 93. I will get a proxy check in for Louis. SWL 95. And there is Warthog 95 checking in from Orlando, Florida, where the weather most of the time is always nice. Thanks for checking in. We used to have a lot of Florida stations that would tune in on oldtuberadio.net site. I haven't seen too many. The closest we've got right now is the SW out there in Lafayette, Louisiana. Looks like Dallas, Georgia, not doing bad at all either. So thanks, 95. Over to SWL 98. All right, so did I miss you, Dave, SWL 98? I hate when things are running slow. Let's go to shortwave listener 103. SWL 109. Shortwave listener 110. SWL 111. Bob, if you're listening, I heard you on the 2-meter side, but I had everything disconnected and discombobulated, so I never did get back to you. But I think you heard me testing. I was testing the various links over the stream, and that's probably what you heard. We got you checked in from Reedley tonight. SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
And 114 is in and sounding good on the old Tube Radio Network. Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.
Over to John out there in Fairfax, Virginia, SWL 128. You scroll over here and see what John is up to. Checking in. All right, and you've got a new, you know what, I will have to check out you've probably had it up there for a while and I haven't been paying attention. But a new, and the squares are like half an inch high on the computer. A picture, it looks like it might be a tower. Uh-oh, that's not good. A tower or an antenna. I'll have to see what that is. Maybe that's the JLF superstation up there. Also want to say, also to, who else? Somebody else was beaconing in here. John B., new to the band, checking in, 032 from Southern Maryland. John, if you're still listening, looking good on my screen here in the old Tube Radio Network. Tube radios are coming up here at the top of the hour, so don't go away. SWL 131.
131, checking in.
131, sounding good, Mr. Rude. We've got you checked in, over.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening.
Then we've got SWL 133.
Good evening, Dennis. 133 checking in.
Checking in and sounding good. Doing it, Dave. We've got you checked in. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Shortwave listener 135. I'll give Cliff a check-in. He was checking in earlier testing, so I think he's going to have an interesting radio for us here in just a few moments.
Yeah, one on the crossband.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I've got which thing. You know what? I'm listening on a different frequency. That's probably what's going on here. Which crossband frequency?
550.
Yeah, that crossband frequency. AB6GFD.
SWL 128 checking in. Yeah, I guess you were over here.
Yeah, I hear you now. I was up on a different frequency, seeing if I could get to. But 135 is checked in. KB6GFD.
Okay, thanks. I'll see you outside in a few minutes. K86 QLG clear.
All right, I got to get this net control guy to coordinate the radios a little better. Thanks, Ron, for the heads up. I have to have about 13 assistant producers to do this correctly. Getting a check-in for SWL 137 and heading up to Tony. What is happening up in Coarse Gold tonight? Hello, 145.
Good evening, Dennis. Yeah, still trying to figure out my sideband situation. I seem to be struggling lately with that, but hopefully we're sounding okay on AM tonight.
Sounding good on AM. I'm not sure what you use on sideband, if it's the 101 or not, but whatever you've got here is sounding good over.
Yeah, Wednesday night I was trying the 101. Last night I was on the Galaxy. I just didn't have it tuned in right. Roger.
Well, it takes a little bit of finesse sometimes to get these things on frequency. AM a little bit easier, and you've got a wider window, so you're doing a good job, and we got you checked in.
All right, thank you, Dennis. 73, everybody, and thank you for running the net.
All right, thanks for being there. And there is 71. I see you, Stan, on the other format here, so Dallas, Georgia is checked in. So thanks for grabbing my attention on that side. I'm not sure if there's... Sometimes it weird things happen on that the other venue there. Over to... I'm getting a hum out of the other radio. I shouldn't do that. Over to SWL 147. And I did see Neil in earlier. I will find his updated mode of operation here in a bit, and we'll find out what is going on in 147 land. Let's see, who else can I pick up here? Oh, let's go back to 195. I know we're getting close to radios when I hear 195, and now when I hear them, I know we're getting close to starting the net too. Hello, Jim.
195 checking in, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, thanks for being there. I'm still scrolling. People watching the video say, what is he looking at? I'm looking at the little tiny 4-point font. Very good. There it is. There's 147. Kakalaki checking in. Spring is coming to the old Southland. 80 degrees. Wow. A lot different than snow. We haven't even got close to 80 yet. 80 degrees tomorrow. That's good antenna weather, but no conditions. Well, I guess that's what the bigger antenna is for. Thanks, Neil. We got you checked in, and let me check for 226. And anybody else that wants to jump in before I jump out here and get the everything set up for the glow-in-the-dark radios? All right, looking good, sounding good. Let's see, I'm on the Crossband. I'm going to go back to the KKO repeater for a little bit. Okay, we'll be right back with your glow-in-the-dark radios, and I promise you will hear less of me and more of the stuff that you tune in for. Back in a moment.
KM4LA, connected Dennis. KB6 GDF, KM4LA.
Hello, radio, KM4LA from Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark. Can you hear me? Over, over.
It's working. I'm hearing you come through on the internet connection on the computer, but I'm hearing you on the radio also. KM4LA, working.
Yeah, no, that's going to be confusing, because I don't know what the delay is, because you know what? This is still piping through the system upon the Universal Media NetWeb. And it shows you, like, I'll have to get your distance, like 1,400 something miles away. It sounds good. There's a bit of delay also on the wires X, but it is beaconing through. So I know you're checking up on what's going on in the green room, and everything is A-OK. And yeah, you've slogged through the 900 pages of manuals and turned the right dials. Let's see, done the right dance. And the fusion is happening. KB6GFD lighted, over, over.
Amazing. Sounding terrific, Dennis. Tell Ron I said hi. KJ6TYO. Tell him I said hi. KM4LA. Sounding terrific, and it's going out over the internet connection, by the way. KM4LA, thank you so much.
All right, well, this is when we say the Crossband, this is a radio that does that. I dialed over to this frequency because I saw your note. And then if the room is hooked up, that works good. I know there's a couple other wires people as well, so I may keep this up and running. Okay, I'm in the interim here. We're going to set up for the tube radios, and we'll be right back. So success. Yeah, this is a good frequency to use, and then there's also the ditch banks as well. So as things progress, we will get the beacon set up. Good to hear you, and good to know that that Bi Radio is working as well. We'll catch you on the other modes of operation, and thanks for all you guys do out there to keep some entertainment going here on the old tube radio network. KM4LA from Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark.
Roger, Roger. Thank you so much, KM4LA.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. I think I just lost my camera. What happened here? Let me go back to the other camera. That's interesting. Well, maybe I'll break this thing yet. All right, don't go away. I'm having some technical difficulties here, but I'll be back. Ah, it's there. All right. Well, as they say, the show must go on.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yeah, the Old Tube Radio Network. Doing its thing. We hope anyway. I lost one of the cameras here, but it shouldn't affect working on tubes and items of interest like that. Also, I've got some strange stuff going on. So let's go to the tube radios, and I'll stand by and see who wants to be radio number one.
135, 135.
135. All right, I hear you on the AM mode. No cross-banding necessary, over.
Okay.
Take a transmission if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, running good here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Is it working? I don't think it's quite warmed up yet, but if it's working, we'll go ahead and go for it.
Yeah, it is working. Let's give it a shot. Over.
Okay, this is SWL 135 mobile out here in the unknown parking lot where I'm having some cable issues all of a sudden for no apparent reason. Okay, if this is going to be working, let's check in the Demco Travelier 23-channel mobile radio, 12 tubes, AM only, glow-in-the-dark tube-type mobile radio.
All right, going to the files to look for the Demco Travelier. Just looking at the strange strange screen. And something has happened to my radio stuff. Let me try this one. Okay, for some reason I've lost the camera connection. I'm having a strange feedback item. So the Demco Travelier is everybody knows the Demco satellites were a very large radio. And like Browning with their large radios, Demco had to do something to make a mobile version. And the Travelier was one way to do that. There we go. Okay, the Travelier is there. Let me try this now. And so the radio, which still looks kind of large to me, is sitting in your vehicle. And I'm assuming you don't have the Demco modulator on that, but I could be wrong. Over.
No, you are assuming correctly. The modulator is not attached. This is, if you got the picture of mine, boy, what is this? I got to look at it. The Sonotone CM30 white plastic unamplified handheld microphone.
So that is the handheld microphone that we're seeing in the picture. Yeah, and I was trying to figure out why we were having the alien. It must be the super loop antenna over here. There is some strange feedback dialing through, but it does not affect what you are doing. It's almost like it's RF coming through. That is very strange. I want to say, I've got the key down here. Hello to Dave. Dave H. says it sounds like the alien noise from the War of the Worlds. Yes, I hope you are on the mending better. And I think, Dave, are you the one that pegged that I was on the CRL Labs? Actually, it's the people who bought CRL. It's Gettner, but I looked up and did some research on the CRL Labs, who are the ones that actually put together this device that I am using, thanks to your expertise there. So we'll try to be out in the War of the Worlds. Back to the radio. Cliff, it is looking good. It is sounding good. That's when I'm showing the microphonium itself, which can plug right into the radio. The picture is showing it into the Demco modulator, and I'm thinking that it's also showing the power supply unit, which is not necessary because you're running off the car battery, right?
That is correct. The picture I've got up is of the home station configuration. It can do either. But like I say, all you have to do is unplug the radio itself from the from that power supply, and I can hook it straight up. It's wired straight to the battery here in the car.
Doing quite nicely with whatever cord you've got. So hopefully there's a fuse in there. So the positive is positive, negative is negative. Considering what you've got, the audio sounds very nice. I don't know if it's I would call it Demco super loud, but it is certainly as number one used to say, doing the job. Over.
Oh yeah, and did you say it's making weird noises?
No, I was making weird noises on my transmission that people are commenting on. You, however, are stellar in your appearance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was worried there for a minute. This thing has a rather loud. It's the vibrator in there that helps transform the DC or whatever. I can hear it. I'm hoping you guys can't, but I hear this whee from the vibrator in the radio, and I was wondering if it was coming through in my audio or something.
And no, it is not. And that used to freak me out as well when I was running the Regency Imperial Mobile, because it vibrates. Sometimes it's louder than other times, but I do not hear that at all. Your audio is perfectly clear. There's no hum. It's my audio that's having the problem with the strange, weird feedback that just showed up, and I have no idea where that's coming from. But you are doing well. So you know what? Maybe I'll come over there and run the net from your Demco. By the way, the Demco bell, which Mr. JT SWL21 has, he's got a bell with the word Demco. He's got the Demco bell, and whenever we get a Demco check-in, and we haven't had one in months, he gets the bell out and rings the bell. And he noticed he was telling me that the bell is ringing. Over.
Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, like I was saying in earlier transmissions, it's really cool that somebody cares. It's nice to know. This is a very nice radio. There's an awful lot of chrome, so it is definitely the chrome lovers radio. I did want to mention before I forget that you are coming in 30 over. You're putting a heck of a signal, and I don't hear anything weird in your signal or your audio. You're sounding really good here into the Wilson 1000 magnet mount, into the car, into the Demco. I'm sure there's something else I was supposed to say about it. Let's see. There's 23 channels, no waiting. And it has a VFO. The lights. Yeah, the lights here inside the car are just fabulous. I don't know if the picture really conveys all the lighting, but here in the dark inside the car, it really makes for a really interesting ambience.
Yeah, you probably got light coming out the front, light coming out the top. And you know what? If I sound good on the air, then my issue is an internet thing. That's where the feedback is. I will check the internet loop. That's probably where the noise is coming in. Something strange happened to my streaming software, so I bet there was an internet wacko thing happening, because I am listening to the sound card and not the transmitter output. So, okay, thanks for that. And you've got the two. I love the Travelier with the double dials, so let's talk about that for a second. I'm assuming that you must tune the receive, obviously. But is the other dial a click-stop channel control? It almost looks like they're both variable.
It looks that way, but no. On the left side, the left windshield wiper dial is your transmit channel, and that is click-stop, for each channel. On the right side, however, that is a fully variable VFO receiver.
Wow, that is something. All right, I see it now. I went to the close-up and I see what they did. They've stair-stepped the channels, which is cool because it shadows the other side, to make it to design it. It's really cool how they did that. So this on channel 11 is they all are, and then the top, and then if you clicked one, you'd go down to the bottom on channel 10. So consider this as a mobile radio. So at some point you have to. Did they give you a spot switch, or did they make it easy enough with the numbers that if you go to 11, you're on 11, and who cares about the spotting?
Well, kind of. Let's see. There's a knob all the way on the bottom right. If you go from left to right, you got your squelch, your mic input, your volume, and then a selector switch down there on the bottom right. The first position is calibrate. And that puts out a little tone, and you can tune the receive to the transmit that way. Then the next stopover is tune, and that's just the regular VFO tuning if you want to tune it differently. And then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they're crystal-controlled memory channels. And I think one of these is channel 11, but I'm not sure. I just go with the VFO, because I want to make sure I'm listening on the right frequency, even if I'm not quite transmitting on the correct frequency.
Well, I think you are. I'm at 27085, and you sound just fine. Probably do a frequency check if we want. I know the strange little beacon going on the internet tonight with the aliens coming out of the Demco. I like this radio. I like the way they've laid it out with the lights on either side. You've got both dials, which are nice and large. You even have a meter that you can see. It's just kind of strange that in the mobile they would give you the dual receive. It seems like a lot of extra work that you might need to do as you're buzzing and beaconing down the road. And again, we're talking with Cliff SWL 135, who is actually in his mobile unit on the Demco Travelier, sans the power supply, which he doesn't need, and the Demco modulator which I think would be having to plug into an AC somewhere, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, my modulator does not work in the DC mode.
Or you would need yet another device that would transfer DC to AC and make some buzzing. Good deal. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed here tonight. We do have some Demco fans, and I hope there's a Facebook page, I think it's Sonar Demco, that would probably tune in to this very segment of the Old Tube Radio Network in the second hour and listen to your, ignore my wacky audio and listen to your great audio from the Demco Travelier, which is probably sitting securely in the seat next to you.
It's not that secure. I would not want to do too much driving around with it because it will probably slide right off of the seat. It's quite a heavy radio, and it has mass, which likes to shift when you're making corners and stuff. There's probably a good reason these things have the brackets, to bolt them securely to the vehicles. As I would not want to operate this thing while actually driving, especially at great speeds. I wanted to mention one other, odd thing about the radio is the vertical meter there in the middle.
I see that. I kind of like that. I did a close-up, and I can't really tell much about it, just the fact that it's in the middle.
Yeah, well, one of the odd things that always freaks me out, and it freaked me out today until I got a good look at the numbers, is that it works backwards to the way you'd think it ought to. The more powerful the received signal, the lower the needle goes. In other words, it goes down instead of going up. But if you look carefully at the numbers do increase as you go down. So it is working correctly. It's just it's kind of a surprise when you watch the needle drop radically with a loud signal.
Well, I'm looking at the history here. This radio, 1963 to 1965. I don't have a price on it. My guess is this was not cheap, especially it was 23 channels and had all the accessories that it did. I see that there is a mic wiring. 1 is audio, 2 is ground, and 3 is push-to-talk. So a 3-pin microphonium. And perhaps in 1963, this is where the term "and I just got down" comes from. So because as the meter goes down, you get louder.
Oh, get down. Get back up again. Yeah, and also in the upper left, if my picture is showing it, the red light is the modulation light, which also winks and blinks on receive. In fact, it seems to wink and blink on receive just as well as it does on transmit. I'm not certain if it's actually supposed to do that or not.
Well, it might just be telling you that there is some type of audio happening. And it's one of the 4. When we look at the shot that's on the desk, on the radio desk, there's the 2 lights on the radio, and then you have a similar red light in the center of the power supply and a similar red light in the center of the Demco modulator. All right. My strange noise, I hope that's not as annoying as it as it sounds. I have no idea what that is. So probably when I reset everything after the net, it will all go away, and maybe my other camera will come back. Radio number 1. I always want to take a little extra time when someone takes the extra time to tear up their Radio Shack, take it out carefully into the mobile situation, and then, kind of tiptoe through the tulips out somewhere, put on the mobile radio antenna, and give us a call. Let us know that these radios, when they said they're mobile, yeah, they're mobile and they work. This one takes a bit of doing. The Demco Travelier, technology from 1963 to 1965. Probably some of the workings of the Demco satellite stuck into that cabinet there, and hopefully it's keeping you warm. Over.
Oh yeah, believe it or not, it actually it doesn't put out a lot of heat, but it is nice and warm. And I thought it did match the satellite. I have the satellite CB1, as you know, and I thought this was a good mobile companion to that radio.
It is. What did Browning had the Baron and some other items, but we're getting a lot. You're getting a lot of good comments on, and I noticed the same thing. The styling of the radio, everything is big. I know some of the tram radios, you had nice big meters, and then you had a little tiny window to find out what channel you were on. This is great. I really like how they did the channel selector. You know, even though you have to hit two knobs, it's really easy to figure out where 10 and 11 and 12 are, and you've got some lights that tell you something. The meter's thrown in for fun, but all you have to do is know that needle is on the bottom and someone just got down. Give us another transmission, and I'll let you get back inside.
Okay. That's one of the things I really like about it, especially here in the dark, here in the car, is that as to what channel you're on. It's the letters are nice and big and easy for old eyes like mine to see, and extremely well illuminated, so that it leaves no doubt as to what channel you're on. Was there something else? With that, I guess I'll let you go.
No, that's perfect. And I did, while you were chatting there, give you a frequency check, 27084.6. You're about 400 cycles low, well within the tolerance. And Mitch is going to the history department. He says the Demco Travelier, and this is amazing. The Demco Travelier, $180 MSRP in December of 1964. That is really, I would say that was really a deal for a Demco, and especially one that had 23 channels and S-meter and all of that. Thanks for bringing it by. Everyone likes this radio. It's thumbs up all the way around.
Oh, that's great. And wow, yeah, even back then, that was a heck of a deal for a radio like this. Like I say, this is a solid, well-built chunk of radio. For that price, did it come with the home use power supply and all that good stuff?
It's hard to say. I'm thinking that could have been an add-on, but even the radio just by its lonesome, probably not. I bet that would be an addition, because if you're selling this as a mobile radio, the power supply would be an add-on.
Okay, I was wondering, because it's like, wow, it was, and still, still for a 23-channel radio back then, that was actually amazingly cheap. Okay, well, I'm going to head back to the barn. Thanks once again for letting me check in these stupid mobile radios. It's a lot of fun to do this. I hope I'm not taking up too much time. We'll catch you next time.
No, I need more people to talk, because my audio sounds terribly funky on the internet. And Paul mentioning $180 was a lot of money back in 1964. But a lot of these radios were in terms of today's dollar, very, very expensive. I mean, like $1,000, like it's a week's pay or something like that. But comparatively, what was out there, not a bad deal, and a very rare radio, and a very good specimen, it's in very good shape. So we appreciate that. Thanks for checking it in. Radio number 1. I'm going to stand by the old Tube Radio Network listening, and we're going to take radio number 2. Who's got it?
Number 7.
All right, number 7 for Radio 2. Step up into the air chair. I'll be right with you. Was there another station? Over.
Well, that's just me. I was going to say, hey, and next month there will be green radios.
That is right. That is right. It is Green Radio Month, St. Patrick's Day, right in the middle of the month. It might be on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember. So we'll stay tuned for that. Number 7 is going to be our next radio. And who is the other station that wanted to check in as well? Over.
45.
Hi, Paul. Sounding good. You will be radio number 3, so jump into the green room, and we will be right with you after the next radio. I'll be anxious to hear what you've got for us. Heading over now to Mr. Ed. Tell us what you have, as long as my radio stuff doesn't blow up here. And I'm assuming the weird noise that everyone's hearing on the internet, you're not hearing over the air here.
No, sounding good here on the radio from Tram Electronics, DTR27E. 23-channel transmit and receive with the 638 microphone from Electrovoice.
Okay, going to my tram item. Take it on your next transmission. That's the wrong radio. On your next transmission, watch any of the wiggle meters because your audio seemed to be all of about 25%, but it was keying down just fine. So take a transmission and see what's happening.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of low. Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to check that out. Well, with that, I better get off this thing and check it out.
Okay, we've got you checked in. On the Tram TR-2070, we've got the picture. So this is definitely not a mobile radio from Tram, although they did make a mobile version. I think it was the XL100, something like that, similar to what Demco did, where you had different power supplies and items with that. So, yeah, the audio, I know how this should sound. The audio is there, but the level is probably 25% at best. So give it a check, and you are officially radio number 2.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm seeing definitely low wattage, what it usually does. All right, I'll have to get the old tube tester out and start checking things out. With that, I'll get off here and try to get another radio in.
All right, very good. And let's see, and what is 1895 extra, 1995 extra? That would be 1995 extra. Oh, for the power supply, I believe. Thanks, 23, if that's how I'm reading it. And Cliff may have taken his radio down, but if you are still there, Cliff, looks like the power supply was an extra $20. And the 97 Boston, the Tram TR-70 was the mobile version. Okay, I know in this TR series, and I want to see, you know what, while I'm transmitting here, let me see if we have a TR-70 in the mix. See, what I'm showing is the XL100, and I have a TR-70C, but I think that was the smaller version out of all the radios. In fact, here's the ad. I just want to take a moment because we're talking about mobile radios. Boy, I hope my internet isn't crashing. Things are just going super slow. There it is, the 23-channel mobile from Tram, 23, and that's the 70C 12 tube. So there it is. I don't know. That's going to give that Demco a run for its money in just girth. It has a mounting bracket, right? As long as it's got a mounting bracket, it's mobile. But there's the issue we're talking about with that little tiny channel selector. This one also has the dual receive and transmit. But take a look at that little tiny channel selector. So kudos to Demco for figuring it out for the mobile guys. Hello, Paul. Are you ready to take a transmission over?
Okay, I'd like to check in my Jim Marine Power Mate.
All right, I will find it here on the list. I think we have that in our archives. If they are working, it's called the Power Mate, and I will say take a transmission, and we'll see what we got.
Yeah, you find it in there. This same radio is the Jimtronic GTX 2300, made in Japan for Panasonic, one of the great radios that they made in over there. Sam's 91, you can see it in there. 23 channel, 11 tube, very nice radio with a blue case, real dark blue, real pretty. I guess a Marine would be blue. Okay. The same microphone, the model of many more radios in Panasonic. It's an static TMD 107 handheld power microphone. Fits the radio just fine. Back to you.
It does. The Gem Marine Power Mate, I believe, and Mitch may check me on this, but it is one of the Panasonic chassis. I think it's in the second series of Panasonic chassis, so this would be similar to like the Robin T123B. So should have a great receiver, and the audio is nice on this.
Receive is darn good too. I really enjoy it. Be able to talk on a good radio out here. Tremendous noise level up here as usual, right from that wind supposed to be in. But I hear you just fine. It's just annoying when some of the weaker signals come in. I can't hear them. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, yeah, we had some wind down here in the valley today and this afternoon, so I haven't been checking the weather reports to find out what's happening up that way. But I know in Southern California a couple of days ago they were having some really, really big winds, and the guys were talking about cranking down antennas and shackling things up. So hopefully we don't get to too much from that. We're talking with Paul, radio number 3, the Gemarine G PowerMate. One of the Panasonic radios. You can't go wrong with it, and that's a good start. 100%, Paul.
Yeah, I sold for $269.95 in the Henshaw catalog, 1975. So it wasn't a giveaway, but it sure was a heck of a good price for a good radio. Thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
All right, thanks for bringing it by here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. And those listening on the internet, there is some strange audio going on. I'm hoping that I'm not going to lose my internet connection. I've already lost one of the cameras, so some strange things are going on. Everything else looks pretty good. So as long as the radios are checking in, we are fine. Looking for radio number 4. Well, let me try the Jingle Singers. Let's see if they have wacky audio issues over in the other studio as well.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
Number 7.
And number 7, I just want to make a comment on the last radio. 1975 introduction, second generation. All right, we're right in the second generation Panasonic. And Paul, you are right. Looks like a Midnight or a Robin. It indeed does. If you look on the inside, it'll be exactly like the Midnight or the Robin. Looks like the Gemarine probably got the lesser of the accoutrements. Doesn't have as many lights as I think the Robin did. And some of them had the range expand and some did not. Ed, take a transmission. Is that the radio in a better shape? Over.
No, that one I checked out, and as I was keying it up, the tube died.
Oh no! I'm thinking that's what's happening. I had to check our 6L6 over at oldtuberadio.net. I'm feeling to make sure it's still warm because there's some strange things happening here. That happens. All right. Well, hopefully it didn't take anything out with it, and I think you were smart to do a quick transmission. It was working, so I'm going to say, yeah, just replace the tube and you should be good to go. And now that you keyed up again, I know what you are talking on. Over.
Well, I guess you might be able to figure that one out. Yes, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB.
No problem in the Mark III, which I think combined between the transmitter and the receiver, there are plenty of tubes that can go out, but I think yours are working just fine at the moment. Over.
Yeah, looking at the watt meter there, everything is moving the way it's supposed to anyway. I've had a tube die before also when OBP, Kevin, was doing the net, as a matter of fact. Was talking on a Browning radio, and it died right on air. So, in fact, next thing Kevin said when he came back was, "That's the sound of a tube dying."
He knows the sound well. Do you know which tube went out? Let's see, what was the... I don't have a tube complement. I don't know if they use a 12AX7 in the audio on that or not.
Yeah, I believe it is a 12AX7.
Well, there are... I guess if you read Greg's book about the Browning, you can actually... And just like an audio amp, you can figure out which 12AX7 is the sweetest one to put in the audio if you have the time to flop them around and put them in and out. But I'm going to say anything will work better than the one that's in there now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's in the tram. I've got the photo facts on the Browning. I'm not sure if I do on the tram. I think I've got a schematic and everything in there, so I'll look and find out, and hopefully with the bunch of tubes I've got here, hopefully I have one.
All right, well, if not, my guess is we'll be able to find one around somewhere to get it up and running. You're on radio number 4, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, and the one we're showing says it's from an advertisement, although it looks like it's from a private collection. And I'll switch over to the other shot that actually shows, and this is from Cliff, that shows the Golden Eagle microphonium, which I believe is similar to what you're using.
Yes, indeed. I do have the gold-plated D104 with the Golden Eagle. Yeah, in fact, it's 24, or is it, no, actually, there's two different things. One says 1 karat gold, and another one says another one, so I'm not sure. Anyway, it's gold-plated. It's a D104. So, yeah, a Golden Eagle for the Golden Eagle.
And the Eagles have landed. I guess they were listening last week when we signed out. We have the ETC Golden Eagle tune, but of course we didn't have any more time to check in radio, so the portent is coming true. Thanks for the Browning. I knew you could get some 100% modulation plus out of that QTH tonight, and this radio is doing it.
All right. Thank you, Rush. Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't something in the connections. Anyway, yeah, good old tube hunting again. That's the fun with tube radios. You replace the tube and get back on the air.
That's right. Probably a little bit easier than working on the transistors to do that. All right, 73 to you. Thanks for checking in. The Old Tube Radio Network, Radio 5, it'd be our next radio. I want to say goodnight to Dave. Yeah, I would say don't stay up too late, but you've already been up late, and that's okay. We appreciate you being in the Old Tube Radio Network. And stay on the mend. The CRL Labs is beaconing away here, and we are looking for radio number 5. Hi, Paul. I hear you. I was just out of the air chair here making an adjustment. Give us a transmission and tell us what you are on. Over.
Okay. Back in the thing on this thing I'd like to have, but it's an overall radio. The Hamlin TB-214.
All right, Hamlin 214. I know I've got that. You are grabbing some oscillation off that. I'm not sure if it's a microphone thing sometimes. If it doesn't like a match or a bad coax switch, it will do that as well. I'm going to put up the video selection of the 214, which is indeed an old radio. That might have been one of their first or second jumps into the CB world. I noticed the hardwired, the microphone looks like it's wired into the case. Take a transmission. We'll see if we can't get rid of the oscillation. Over.
I'll tell you that, for a Hamilton. No meters on the thing. There's 4 knobs in the middle bottom. And you can see a picture of it there. That's it. The speaker's on the right-hand side. And nothing else. It's definitely a stock microphone. It's a ceramic mic made by Euphonics. This thing has volume controls as well. And other 2 remaining controls. They are located in the back rear of the radio. Front power speaker is located in the right-hand side, like I said. The kitchen range is well ventilated, and it's blue. It's about the same color as the power mate. So very, very blue, very nice radio back here.
Yeah, we're going to have Green Radio Month next week. So maybe we should just have Blue Radio Month or some other color this month. Looking at the channel select, looks like it might be 6 channels. It doesn't say maybe, but it's a 214. I don't know what they're numbering, because I think they had a 213. 12-volt DC, 6 amps or 112-volt AC. So this obviously was possible to go mobile. Because an early radio, I don't have a date on this. The CB214, my guess, I was looking for the Sam's Photo Effects, and my guess is in one of the earlier models. And yeah, this is, when we talk about a plain Jane radio, this is it. I'm assuming that this was not a $189 radio. This might have been more closer to the $100 range to get you started into the CB world. Hammarlund, of course, maker of some very, very fine and coveted amateur radio receivers. I'm not sure if they made transmitters or not, but they were very decent receivers. Over. Okay, thanks for bringing it by. You had the oscillation, that entire last transmission. It may show up, I think you've got a modulation light there on the front. I'm not sure if that's a pilot light or if that's actually works with your modulation as well. But you might notice that. If you're keying the microphone and you're seeing the light, you're seeing some modulation of the light without speaking, then you know it's got the oscillation in there. Maybe it just needs to be run a little bit more. Or the tubes, rock those tubes in the socket. Hammarlund, yeah, they got into the 11-meter mode of operation. This is one of their selections from their earlier venue, the CB214. And it is trying to modulate. So thanks, Paul, for bringing it by. All right, perfect transmission that time on the old Tube Radio Network. And, John, I finally noticed your post. A 24-foot tower on top of the garage at his parents' place in Indiana, 1965. Wow. And that's you on the top, preparing to install the Super Mag antenna, which was the antenna that I always wanted. It was a CLR2 and a Super Mag, and I think it was the Penetrator were the big ground planes that everybody had. I didn't have. I had the knockoff from Radio Shack. It wasn't the Droopy George. It was the next one up. And then they had a more expensive one. You paid $10 more, and then you got their version of the Super Mag or the CLR2 or whatever. And I can't remember the Super Mag. Now I'm getting weird phasing. If the Super Mag had the, the static arrestor ball or something on the top. So cool station. That was a station back then in 1965 with the tower and the big antenna. So no doubt in 1965 you were getting down as well. Looking for radio number 6 on the old Tube Radio Network. Seems like we're all having our semi-technical difficulties tonight.
Semi-difficulties is an understatement here.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost one of the cameras, but it's there. It's just not coming through. The strange feedback, internet only. It's one of those things. There's probably something open or a switch flipped or whatever. So when everything goes to bed and comes back up, it might be nice. I know the Jingle Singers look like they're okay, so let's head over there and see what's up with them.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
And Mitch, yeah, the Penetrator, I forgot about that. Was another the high dollar. What were they, like, $30, $40 back in the day? Lightning Strike. I'm always fearful of that. And I hear people that say, yeah, I had a lightning strike. I'm thinking, how? I don't even know what that would be like. A lightning strike took out the Penetrator, probably some other stuff. Telephone rang. for several minutes straight after the strike. Yeah, probably melted. Back in the days, those were the 48-volt lines or 70-volt lines on the telephone. So, yeah, probably melted something together and you had that ring voltage going forever. Looking for radio number 6.
Well, you mentioned several technical difficulties, so I thought that might be my cue to jump in on a radio that hopefully isn't having technical difficulties, although I think historically speaking I've got a pretty high average of that.
Yeah, well, you and me both. No, you do pretty good. Your radios usually are humming along pretty good. And this one appears to be no exception for radio 6. So take a transmission.
Well, it took me a second to even remember what I was using. It seems like I've been talking on Robin quite a bit lately, and don't know what it was that really made me want to go to this one this evening. But for your listening pleasure, it's my Browning R27 S23, which I believe you might have mentioned it. Yeah, maybe I did. I think it's got a stamp somewhere. I think it's Series 2. Please don't quote me on that. Maybe it's a 1. You're going to have to enlighten me on that. I almost want to say that there, at some point in time, there was an actual gold eagle affixed to the speaker on the receiver. I don't know. This one doesn't have it. I definitely have a painted. I always make a funny comment about it looking like a black painted, like a raven, on the transmitter in between the on the air lamp and then the channel selector. But is this a Series 2? Do you remember?
37.
And 37, we got you logged in. Well, let me see. The Series 2, here's the differences for this radio from 1964, 65, and part of 66, that if you had $359, and that was big money back in the day, you would be bringing it home in the family station wagon. The Browning Eagle Series 2 base station consists of the R27 Series 2 receiver and S23 Series 2 transmitter, obviously. Some of the differences from the Series 2 are larger meters. Okay, well, you'd have to have some comparative thing there. Neon modulation indicator, there's a good one, and the lighted on-the-air indicator. So if you've got the neon modulation indicator when you talk, and you're, what did I say, lighted on the air, you are Series 2. Over.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And, after years of talking about this, I don't remember, anyone bringing up the fact that apparently the Series 1 did not have the on-the-air lamp. I don't know if you would elaborate on that. This one definitely does. And I think when, back when I was kind of shopping for a Browning radio, I think just the fact that this one had a pretty large on-the-air lamp compared to the rest of them, that definitely drew me to this particular radio. It does have, I guess, a neon little modulation lamp, and this thing's working actually quite nicely. I think after staring at the modulation lamp on my Robin 123B, which with an unamplified mic doesn't really do much of anything. This light is really working. It's lighting up, and that's kind of curious because I'm on the unamplified stock banana mic. So that's curious. Talking about standards. Not really making it from one radio to another. It's interesting how the modulation lamp on my 123B just doesn't really do much of anything. And this one, apparently under similar circumstances, does quite a bit. But anyways, this definitely does have the, like I was kind of talking about earlier, it does have this ginormous on-the-air lamp. And I think I've kind of commented on it before. that someone was thinking, someone had style when they designed this. That the three words on the air are not, merely printed out perfectly horizontally, but they've got a downward slope. Each word has a downward slope to the right. That I gotta see, it's pretty classy. I have not used this radio much lately, and in the sense I have used it, I haven't stared at the on the air lamp, which I'm doing right now. It's really cool. I like this.
It is. The audio is nice and smooth. The Brownings obviously have lots of audio. And with that microphonium you have, I mean, you can hold it right up to your mouth and talk right into it, and it's gonna push the audio a little bit more and sound louder, but it's nice and smooth. And I noticed on the Eagles, I don't know what Browning taps their circuit monitor modulation from, but the ones that have the modulation meters, when you put it to MOD, it just smashes the needle against the case. I don't even like to put it in that position, because it's okay, yeah, it's working, but it's just not good for the meter. So the lights is probably a better way. And neon is probably pretty good, not like a poor little filament that's sitting there expanding and contracting and doing bad things. The neon is probably a good choice for some very, very loud audio as well. And I wanted to make a comment. Superloop mentioning about the Radio Shack antenna, the Supermax. I think that's what I had. It was in 1995, and that was from 1970. And there was another one that was like $39 or something. That was like the middle antenna was the Supermax. So if you gave it a good name, you could you could get out as well. Looking at the radio on the Browning, the receiver transmitter, the ping is good. You definitely don't need any amplification on the microphonium. And what Harvey was talking about last week is the 12AX7s in there. There's one for transmitting and one for receiving. So you could play around with the audio tubes, and maybe if you're really, like one of those audiophile guys, get the choice 12AX7 and stuff it in there and see if that would change anything. But I don't think you need to do that on radio number 6. We'll go back to you for transmission. We've got what looks like radio 7 standing by. So we'll get to him in just a moment. But first, let's take another transmission on the Browning. Thanks for bringing it by.
Okay, thanks. I know I chimed in there real quick. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to take up so much time here. I know there 37 wants to check in, and probably some others too. But let me ask you real quick, if the Series 1 on this particular radio, if the Series 1 did not have the pretty big on the air lamp on it, do you have any idea what was over there? I can't imagine that just going from the Series 1 to Series 2, they completely redesigned, the front of the radio. Are you familiar with? Have you ever seen the front of the radio on the S23?
Well, let me look at the advertisement. Here, oops, right there. Want to see that? And it looks like it is still there. There's still a square. I don't know where this... Oh, no, it says Series 2. All right, that's not going to help us out. It's a Series 2 advertisement. So if Harvey is listening, he might be, when he chimes in, which I hope he will, before we go out tonight, he might be able to answer the question on what was that Series 1 transmitter. What might have been the difference in that occupying that real estate to the right side of the channel selector, or maybe there was something smaller. Who knows? All right. Well, anyway, you've got the Series 2, and it appears to be a decent choice for sure. The old tube radio network. Thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Oh yeah, thank you. My pleasure.
All right, see if we can find that out. Chris, step up in the air chair. I'll be right with you. I see there's a pen down on the table, and I forgot when I signed in here to populate the pocket protector. This is an interesting item. It's one of those pens that has the eraser that is as hard as granite. And all it says on it is Magnavox. So I'm assuming this was a promotional pen from Magnavox. And it's very long. It's going to stick way out of the pocket protector. I could use this as a baton to conduct the orchestra. It's very red, and it's so long, sort of warped. I don't know if it warped in the heat of the last 60 years or not, but this is our sponsor tonight from Magnavox. Makers of television. Was it Ken Crane's Magnavox? The gentleman that I bought my first tube radio from, the Regency Imperial back in 1972, was a tech at Ken Crane's Magnavox, and I think it was in Torrance or Redondo Beach. And he went through that radio and tuned it up perfectly. And he always used to say that Magnavox was the best stuff you can buy. Not Motorola, it was a good old Magnavox. There it is. All right, the pen is in there, and indeed is sticking out like inches more because it's good. All right, sorry, Chris, I was talking too much. Give us a transmission. You are Radio 7, over.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with Magnavox. Years ago, my ex-wife, her neighbor was a good friend of mine. We became good friends. He worked for Magnavox, and one day, he seen I had my electric guitar, and the amp blew up, so there wasn't nothing worth out of it left. So he built me one out of Magnavox equipment. You know, all I had to do is just plug it into my amp about that with my speaker and stuff, and I was all set all over again. So it made me kind of nice. But I want to check in this radio here, my general radio telephone, the Super MC11A. Is the 24 channel version here, running this here with the non-amplified stock microphone. Over.
Always a staple of the old Tube Radio Network, and good night. Who's leaving us tonight? Smarty Jones, thanks for checking into the net tonight. Also, hello to the Google bots checking in over at oldtuberadio.net to see if we're behaving. And we are. We always do. We behave like we were on the air in 1972 or 1963 when everybody was all nice and happy on the CB radio band. Well, maybe not everybody. General radio telephone, sounding good, looking nice, and making its, I don't know, what is it, 10 millionth appearance on the old Tube Radio Network, over?
There's been quite a few. I don't know how many. It's been a few years of it.
And that's a good thing, because it is also one of the favorites, the beautiful downtown Burbank General Radio Telephone, especially the series with the ECLL 800s, the 10, or the 9, the 11, 11A, and of course the elusive Super MC12. So it is a good item. We also have the greatest shot from Cliff of the radio. So it looks good and it sounds good here on your old Tube Radio Network.
Well, thank you very much. But yeah, it's still working. That's one good thing about it. So, yeah. General, what else can you say? All right, thank you, Dennis. I'll be out and listening.
All right, thanks for bringing it by. Good to hear you tonight in the old Tube Radio Network. My audio thing is sort of cleared up, but I still have some other things broken, so I'm not going to stay on too long tonight and make everybody's head hurt as they're listening to the radio. So I will, let's see if the jingle singers, yeah, they're ready. Let's do the jingle singer thing, and then I'll be counting and amounting, and we'll see if we can't get one radio or two more before we sign out tonight here.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
And OTR standing by, counting and amounting.
Break OTR.
The break OTR, go ahead, over.
Well, this time a Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 with the banana type microphone.
Sounds good. You know, if Harvey indeed has fallen asleep in the radio air chair when he gets back in and watches the replay and realizes maybe he didn't make it, and he might. I'm not counting him out here. He will definitely appreciate the fact that indeed there was an R68 T68 beaconing through the old tube radio night tonight. So take another transmission over.
Yes, Harvey got this one working quite well, and yeah, it's all due to that. We got these Brownings. In fact, both my Brownings are operating because of Harvey. So, good job. Thank you very much, and we'll take a listen to hope there'll be another radio.
All right, thanks for radio number 8, the Browning Golden Eagle, the R68 T68. Predecessor to the Eagle, which we heard moments ago, and this was the one that begat the Mark II. But the Mark none sounding good, and what a ping it is in the headphoniums. Thanks. This is the basic Dennis, over.
I'd like to check this radio in. Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68. I found another one.
Wait a minute. You mean like you just went out on the sidewalk and it was there?
No. It was in the driveway.
All right, well, you caught it in time.
Roger. Okay, this is the one I was working on there. Seems to be working okay. Still, I've got to do the pin cap in it. I noticed 2 other caps in the audio are in need of being repaired or replaced, so I guess maybe I'll do that. Okay, just check this one in, and I have a question. Do you have 900 megahertz capability?
900 megahertz. Do I? I think I actually do. I think I've got a very old flip phone around here somewhere that's connected up to something.
No, I kind of mean something like a Motorola MTX or something that's 900 megahertz. Because I'm sitting here looking at one and I'd like to talk to somebody on it.
I have an antenna, but I do not have an active radio for that frequency, and I don't remember what the official band is, like 902 to 922. I'd have to look at my ARRL chart.
What kind of antenna do you have, Harvey?
Well, it's a handheld. It's a long rubber ducky.
Yeah, you're not going to go very far with that. Only about a mile or 2.
Well, I'm able to bring up a repeater, which I would assume would be in the hills somewhere, but could be in somebody's house as far as I know, but I've got it on the 927 area is the repeater, 927.0625.
Well, make sure it's a ham radio repeater, because the city of Fresno uses the 900 meg band too.
That's what I was afraid of. But the frequencies that this has in it were supposed to be used by hams way back when Bill was still here. But it didn't pique anybody's interest, so I think the one repeater that they had put up, they took down. But I still have the thing, and apparently one repeater is still active, so it's got a couple of simplex frequencies too, but I just kind of wondered how many people still had the capabilities for it. 925 to 927 is what's in this thing.
Yeah, what? Read off that repeater frequency again.
927. Excuse me.
So I've got a
927.0625.
Okay.
All right. I wasn't even realize we had any 900 amateur stuff around. I'll have to ask Pat what's the skinny on that.
Oh, yeah, that's a ham radio repeater.
Does it give it a location?
Bald Mountain.
Bald Mountain. Where's that? South?
That is it's Central San Joaquin Valley, and Joaquin is spelled wrong.
I think there's one of the fire cams that's up on Bald Mountain. So, all right, well, if Jeevet's making that, that's not bad.
Oh, yeah, Bald Mountain is behind Shaver Lake.
Oh, up the other way, all right.
Yeah, I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 supposed repeater frequencies and 3 simplex in this thing. And according to my frequency counter that I can hold right near it, when I key up, they're in there.
Now, you do know that your PG&E meter uses the same frequencies.
Yeah, check your power bill. If it's way less than you paid last month, that's a good radio. If it's a lot more, you should think about a few things. Let me go ahead and sign out of the net here before I blow something up and turn off all the stuff, and we'll continue on the frequency unless we got some other traffic here.
Right there.
Yeah, the break for Dennis. Go ahead.
Yeah, number 2 calling on you there. I had tried to get back with you, a while back. I wasn't able to reach you. So I just wanted to know if you still have my number. I want you to give me a call. That's hello.
Okay, I'm not sure if I have it. And you're talking to the right Dennis. There's another Dennis there.
Yeah, I don't know which one to tell y'all. Y'all both of y'all sound alike when y'all talk to me, that's hello.
Okay, so I'm thinking you might have been talking to Mr. 1017.
Okay, cool, man. I was having a problem with the city, and he was telling me to get over to him, and he might give me a little scoop on how to handle that, you know.
Oh yeah, okay, that would be nice. I think he had, and he probably mentioned, I think he had a similar issue, so he probably knows the ins and outs on what to do. Over.
Yes, sir, right. If you got a trouble, I'll give my number again. And if you can pass it on to him, tell him I'd like to get a call, that, you know.
Okay, he was in earlier, but I know he doesn't stay up too late, so he's probably off frequency now, but I can usually catch him on, I think, 38 lower.
Yeah, right. If you got a trouble, I'll give you my number. Just after you give me a call, I appreciate it, because I think by Tuesday I got to kind of deal with them. So I would like them to give me a call. I could maybe get a little advice on it. Okay, my number is 307-4410. 307-4410. You got it?
I've got it. Over.
Number 2 operator. Okay, Dennis, I appreciate it, man. Y'all have a fine one out there, Wade. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, thanks for stopping by. Always good to hear you on the frequency here. And I will make sure I can get that 5 over to Dennis, see what you guys can come up with. All right, thanks. And the O2 Radio Network, any other items before we sign out here? And before all my cameras go away, I've noticed the internet noise is sort of going away, but I think just shutting everything down and rebooting is the thing to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
To be the current and final OTR totals tonight. The camera that went down was the one that works the REA meter and all that, so no fancy stuff as I read the list tonight. And then I always go back because I'm sort of busy with the paperwork, and I see that Chrissy has another fine recipe up going on, and that should be, if you go to the video when it posts, I believe these comments are displayed. So if you're looking for one of the good recipes here, the last part of the net should have it. I'm gonna go there myself and get out my little 3x5 cards and write things down and check that out. The Old Tube Radio Network tonight, where we had 9 radios, and the Brownings, the Eagles have landed with 4 Brownings tonight, the most heard manufacturer, but some great and interesting radios happening as well. I'm hearing things in my headphoniums here tonight. The Demco Travelier Mobile from Cliff doing some extra work to let us show that indeed the radios would go mobile, working fine. The Travelier, a very rare item of interest. Thanks, Cliff, for the extra effort on that one. And I think Mitch came up with the fact that the power supply, the base AC power supply, was indeed an option for around $20. Mr. Ed on the Tram TR27E, we've sort of heard it's 12AX7, telling us that it was indeed not feeling well. So he's going to probably jump into that, do a little tube tweaking, and it should be back ready to go in the next couple of weeks. Radio 3, Paul on the Gem Marine Products G PowerMate, one of the Panasonic Series 2 clones, sounding as good as they always do. Radio number 4, Mr. Ed on the Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, one of the 4 Eagles tonight. The Hammerland CB214, another rare radio, and one of, I think, 3 or 4 that Hammerland actually had out on the 11-meter Citizen Band radio. That one having a little bit of an audio oscillation. So the next time that comes by, we'll see how that sounds. But check it out, Paul. You'll hear what I'm talking about in the audio. The audio is there, just had that extra oscillation with it. So not quite sure what's happening with that. The Browning Eagle, the R27S23. Mike checking that one in with the unamplified regular, I guess it's the Electro Voice microphone, sounding really good. Suits his voice quite well. He modulates the Browning well for radio number 6. Radio 7 tonight, the General Radio Telephone, and I did put that one down. That's the MC11A. Let's make that a super MC11A from Chris, always sounding good. Radio number 8, Mr. Ed on the Browning Golden Eagle R68, R68, T68, and then not to be outdone, Harvey on his Browning Golden Eagle, the new, not the Beagle, but this is the Golden Eagle R68, T68, sounding really loud. I was about to ask him what he's done, but the audio is really nice on that. It's loud, but not piercingly, screechy loud. It's got a really good fidelity to it. So I think it's a combination of the microphone and what he's got in the radio, but it actually has some nice low tones as well. Sorry for the wacky audio on the internet tonight. It was good to hear Bob coming in from, and it said about 1,900 miles away on the Crossband radio. We'll get that set up to do more with that. And if we can get conditions, we'll see what happens, the old Tube Radio Network. Otherwise, we enjoy your posts on the Facebook, your check-ins on oldtuberadio.net, and, of course, our crew here in the Central Valley that keep us going for the last 35 years, jumping away from whatever they do on a Saturday evening to share their radios with us. Hopefully you do something similar where you get on the air, check out your radio, whether it's tube or not, and just have a good time on Citizen Band Radio. As Paul V says, good night, everyone, from the old Tube Radio Network control. I don't think I'm going to do too much tonight because there's some strange things going on, and I got to probably do some resets here and make sure there is nothing wrong with my 12X7s. Good night, everybody.
Evening in 73. Thanks for the show.
You with one another, whatever.
And Keith, I think you can hear me. Yeah, I tuned in. If you heard earlier, Bob or Steve came in, and he was on, and the room will show up. Let me turn the receiver down here. The room will show up in Clovis. So if you go on the list for California, look for a room in Clovis, and it's W6KKO, and they're on it right now. He's coming through on the 444.5, which is the Ditch Banks room.
Good night, Dennis.
Good night, over. And so they may have it down.
Yeah. I just checked on the frequencies, and all my 927s, repeater-wise, I transmit on 902.
Okay, that's probably better. I know he's pretty much zero about 900 meg to direct you in the right, or to keep you in the right direction for that. So we will see. If there's still I'm amazed that there actually is a repeater up. So if there's still one up, I have to find out if it's quote unquote open, and maybe who the repeater op or the group is that runs it, and find out a little bit more about it.
Well, it's, let's see, position 5 is on Mount Oso, position 4 is Mount Bullion, or it says Bullion, then the third position was the one that the club had, the CVRC club, and then the second position says NC9RS, and then the first position, the 927.0625 is K6V, then it says AKU.
So it's working out good for.
I figure one way or the other I can figure out who's got what.
Yeah, indeed. Hang on just a second. Keith, if you want to try it, they're on right now on 147.105. I see it's active. So check that out on the list. It should show up as Clovis, and it's W6KKO. And I think he's linked into the room somehow. But if you just want to listen in or give it a try, look for 147.105. But I think you'll find it under W6KKO, and it'll show up in the state of California, Clovis, and
Picked him up and got him. So
there
I told him we ought to do
that's the audio right now.
testing with the stock ones that came with his radios and get out into the fringe area, and then
And that's 105. And if I go over to 445, I think it's the same.
diamond zone.
Yeah.
How much better it
See,
is.
that's actually linked into Ditch Banks, the 444.5. So that would be a good one to check.
Yeah, exactly. I know why.
So I'm thinking he's linked into Jeremy's room. So maybe Jeremy's room isn't up. So 147.05. And that's Ron, who is the control op for the Ditch Banks room, and then Rick, who's the control op for the other room. So I'm sure you want to take a transmission at some point, they'll let you break in and be happy to chat with you. Okay, I need to turn stuff off and find out why things were not working the way they should, and what happened to that camera right there, the camera that has nothing on it. So, good night, everybody, from the Old Tube Radio Network, and thanks for, as they say, thanks for putting up with me. And looks like I've got a recipe to check out. And DD21, are you still up? You never sleep. JT never sleeps. I'm going to go back and watch some of the old radio night. It's always on when I'm setting things up here. That's why I miss a lot of it, because I have to be pulling wires and cables and things like that. JT, what is the name of the station? Who is the person that does the, I think I'm getting it wrong, that does the musical bits, who's taking his time out? Well, who is that? Can you type that name so that I will remember and put that down so that I can give proper credit where credit is due and not say the wrong name? So if somebody's doing all that trouble with the song, I need to make sure there is a proper acknowledgement. Good night to Johnny Defiant. So I miss a lot of these comments. I go back after the show and look at things. North Charleston. Okay. North Charleston. I will make a note. I will make a note of that. And good to see some new stations in there tonight. Super Loop and the gang. And hopefully I didn't miss anybody. And things of that nature. All right. And hope Dave is. I saw Dave checking there. I know he wasn't feeling too well. I hope he's feeling better. But sounds like he's on the mend, but on the mend a little bit slow. That same way with our station 84 that checks in. He said he was on his third surgery. Jerry, Cheerios kid. So everybody is healing, but healing slowly, but going in the right direction, and that is a good thing. Good night, everybody. The Old Tube Radio Network is sounding good. And Chrissy, I will check out the recipe when I get out of here. So 73, and I'm gonna maybe I'll check in. I think the guys are still on the.
I'm working on my license for the next.
Yeah, they're still up there on the KKO net. So we'll see what happens. And who else is that? Sam. Hey, Sam. 635. Listening in from Byron. Where is Byron? What's the zip code? Is that a 95? Is that a north, like a 95, or is that like a 90 or a 91 down in the south? We're right here in the center of the state, here at 93 on the zip code. I'm just wondering if that's close enough to hear you on some frequency. We do this every Saturday. We've been doing this 36 years, believe it or not, on Saturday evenings. But, of course, all the technical stuff we haven't been doing for maybe 10 or 5 years. But over the air, we've been on for a long time. So thanks for listening in. You can check us out. oldtuberadio.net is the audio. Channel 11 is the over-the-air in Central California. And when the video works, and I don't break stuff, we're doing stuff as well. And Chrissy, why are you sorry? Don't be sorry. just chop up some more carrots, and it'll be good. And Captain Robert, how are you doing? I know Robert is also healing, but healing slowly, but going in the right direction. So, Robert, keep doing whatever the doctor says to do, and and not what he says to. I guess with COVID and things, everything's kind of slowed down, unless you're a critical, essential work. Everything's slowed down a little bit, so maybe it's easier to recuperate a little bit. Roundabout is Tube Name in North Charleston. All right, thanks, JT. I will try to remember that, because I always appreciate his extra efforts for the Tube Radio Network here. And I have got to take out this ginormous Motorola pen before it pokes my eye out of the pocket protector here. And the full moon is at work. That is what's happening. Thank you. I didn't know that it's the full moon tonight. No other explanation necessary. I'll just turn everything off and come back in 24 hours when it's waning, waxing. I don't remember. And yeah, I've got to do some damage control, X4000. I don't know if I'll be on the auxiliary frequency or not. Looks like you're going to have to get some wires for fusion for the links. We're getting some good links here in Fresno. We got a couple people that are putting stuff together, so. Did they just sign off?
Oh, yeah.
No, they're still there. All right, I got to jump out of the chair, and we'll be back next week. I don't have any good pictures to put up because this camera isn't working. But that camera is. Good night, everybody. Hey, I'll leave you with some 75-meter audio here. No AMers.
And you're pretty solid into there as well. So, good evening to you. Yeah, I heard you calling somebody else, so I'll get on the side. I'll let you call that station you're trying to reach. KE5GGY. Good evening, Tom.
3916.
So, what is it Prescott or Prescott or what? And exactly what you guys are saying. Solid, and I'm looking. I just pulled you up on QRZ, Tom, so I'm looking at the 7610. Really good-looking check. I love the shelving and the way you've got everything kind of stacked and looking like mission control. That's a good look. It looks like you got a lot of tests in there too. Like you know what you're doing. Man, if you gave me all that gear, I'd probably electrocute myself. But very impressive. And yeah, I'll probably get the 7610 at some point. I'm so happy with the 7300. I'm not in a big hurry, but I honestly, Tom, I kind of like the footprint of a bigger radio, and so that the 7610 is about the size of what I used to have with the 756 before I got the 7300. And I see we both have the. And a lot of people will answer you, but I see you have. It looks like you have an Icom 7000 there. That smaller radio.